Hi, my name's Linda Oatman. Hi, welcome. Today I'm going to be answering some common questions about the publishing industry. If you'd like to skip to a specific question, just check the player below. If a literary agent tells you up front they'd like to charge you money, they are unethical and they are not a member of the agent's agency that you should be looking for. The way agents get paid, they commonly get 15% of any sale. So they get a cut of the book advance and then a cut of the royalties on book sales. Yep, they're like writers and artists and musicians. There are no clear-cut working hours. If you really want to differentiate your career, you can use a pen name. For example, I've published for many, many years under the name Linda Oatman. However, I have a dark psychological suspense mystery/crime novel. If that novel gets published, I might use a pen name for that one. Writers do need agents these days, and it's kind of a catch-22 because it's hard to get published without an agent, but it's hard to get an agent if you're not published. But these days there are so many electronic and digital rights that it's very difficult for a writer to try to navigate a contract. We get a book advance up front when we sign the contract, and then after the book comes out, traditional royalties are, it really varies. On hardcover books, we might get like 7% of what the book sells for in a bookstore. Well, it's a lot about timing. Right time, right place, right concept. So basically, an agent has to be really intrigued by your pitch and also just fall in love with your writing. A query letter should not be dreadfully long. A page of typewritten query is good, and usually you include past publishing credentials and anything that might lend itself well to the project you're pitching. Well, my very first picture book took 7 years. I sold the concept while I was at a writing conference, and I signed my contract, I got my advance, and then the publisher called me and said, good news and bad news. Good news is we've signed Ted Lewin. He was a very prestigious illustrator. Bad news, Ted is contracted for 7 years. So I waited more than 7 years for that book to come out. Nope, that is a common misperception. There's no need for that. And once the book is published by a traditional publisher, they do the copyright. Well, our agents negotiate the better terms these days. Back in the good old days, before digital rights, we could negotiate maybe if we wanted to hold on to, say, ebook rights or movie rights. We could fight for those rights. Well, there is no easy way to get a book published. It takes a lot of determination, a lot of passion, a lot of dedication. Some writers self-publish, and I've never done that, so I don't know a lot about that process, but certainly that might be a little easier in that you know your book's going to get published. Well, I would say anytime except in between the whole holiday season that goes in December and January. Also, they don't seem to enjoy getting queries in the summer when a lot of people go on vacation. Basically, these days, your agent decides. He or she thinks of, a good pitch, a good time to pitch, and they run with it. No, I actually don't. I have a whole file cabinet full of novels I've written that I've never even submitted. I have tons of old computers with projects I've written that were just written for me. Oh, I mean, you can fail quite a lot, but I don't like the term fail. I like more thinking about how often do you write a book that's only for your enjoyment and your practice. It is very difficult. The industry has changed a lot. It's kind of like the wind that's blowing on us right now. It goes here and there and everywhere. And it's become a lot more difficult with the advent of the internet. There are agent guides. There's a writer's market guide that's all about agents, or you can just Google and find agents online. Or you can meet them the old-fashioned way, in person, live at a writer's event. I would say read, write. Proofread, make sure it's the best book it can be, and then start submitting to agents. I had sold 13 books without an agent in the beginning of my career. And then I sold a book called The Girl on the High Diving Horse to Penguin Putnam. And the editor there told me that I should be negotiating for a higher advance. And because I'm kind of a conflict avoider, I never did that. And at that point, I realized I did need an agent. So I got an agent 13 books in. If you can get an agent right away, go for it. If you can't, you have to be your own agent until you get something accepted. Most publishers have a fall list and a spring list, and they decide when they think it would be best. You could self-publish. And again, I know nothing really about that, but I know you can do print on demand through Amazon and other platforms. Some of my older books, my advance was only like $1,500, and then the book sales don't always earn out, so it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, that's for sure. If it costs anything, that's self-publishing. Traditional publishing, they pay the writer. We don't pay them. Well, some writers say write every day, set your alarm and write from 8 a.m. till noon. I'm not one of those writers. I'm not a real structured person. I write when the inspiration hits. I have my first one coming out in November of 2023, and I'm super excited. So I hope that it's something I want to do again. Well, you could then think about self-publishing if it's a book that you really, really want to hold in your hand and have as a tangible item. Well, we don't do that. In traditional publishing, that's the publisher's job. They have stables of illustrators and they choose and they work, the art director works with the illustrator. Nope. Again, that's all up to the publisher. The editors are generally employed by the publishers, and the illustrators are freelancers like me, and they're chosen by the publisher. There's a resource guide called Writer's Market. It comes out every year with Writer's Digest books. So that's an excellent resource, or again, Googling, finding them online. These days, middle grade novels are selling well, I'm told, as well as adult novels. It changes day to day. If you're somebody like a book factory, Stephen King or somebody, they publish at least a book a year, but it's really dependent. You don't want to rush yourself or write something that's not good just in an effort to make a publishing goal. Of course, that's absolutely okay, because making art is all about the joy of it. If it gives you happiness and fulfillment, that's what art is all about. Well, when you feel that your first book is as good as it can possibly be. I love the industry. I love books, always have, always will. I like a real book to hold in my hands versus a Kindle or reading electronically. And I hope that I do it as long as I possibly can, because it gives me joy. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.